Yo, what's going on YouTube, and welcome to Goal Line Hockey. It's your boy Kevin Forte, and we are taking a look at the Vegas Golden Knights as they have recently updated their trade block. A couple of names that maybe you wouldn't have expected to see. We're going to be taking a look at that in this video. If you like what we're doing here at Goal Line Hockey, want to see the latest news around the NHL and a little bit more of the flow, guys, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and a subscribe down below, and let's take a look at the trade block for the Vegas Golden Knights. Alright guys, so as usual, before we get too far into this video, I want to give a quick plug to our Instagram and Twitter handles at goalline_hockey. Links will be in the description down below, as well as playing throughout this video. And make sure to check out our Patreon for a weekly podcast every Thursday night. We take a look at all the latest news around the NHL and answer your guys' questions from the YouTube comment section. So if you want to have a chance to have your voice heard on next week's podcast, make sure to leave some comments down below. And we've been seeing a uptick in the comments since I've been mentioning them in the podcast. I've been seeing the fan base build a little bit more, so obviously, communicating with you guys more has definitely worked, and I hope to continue to do that with you guys and build up a little bit of a connection. So I really appreciate that if you do comment down below. All right, so guys, we're going to take a look at the Vegas Golden Knights today. The Vegas Golden Knights are in a heck of a spot. With this much salary cap space left to work with, they find themselves in a spot they were hoping they wouldn't have last season, as soon as last season. When they traded for Alec Martinez at the trade deadline last year, the entire world has gone upside down since then. So, all right, so let's start this off. So you have a lot of big contracts that have to potentially get moved. I think a lot of it has to do with the Vegas Golden Knights. Kelly McCrimmon, the general manager, is looking down the line at the lack of salary cap space they have to sign some of the young guys who are going to be coming up into the roster over the next couple of seasons. And they aren't going to be getting a break in many contracts up until then. So some of these guys you have to keep an eye on. Guys that have to get re-signed over the next couple years. Nicolas Roy, a former first-round pick, back when he was one of the first draft picks by the Vegas Golden Knights. Cody Glass as well. He was one of the, I think he was the first pick in Vegas Golden Knights history at, I think it was 5th or 6th overall. He's going to be a free agent in 2 years from now. Zach Whitecloud will also be a free agent in 2 years from now, and he has proven himself to be a top 4 defenseman in the NHL. He stays on that progression for the next 2 years. He's going to make a pretty nice payday in 2 years. So those are the two big guys, and that's 2 years from now. Now, who comes off the books of any significance? Alec Martinez, final year of his deal right now at $4 million, and that's about it. Everybody else, it's going to be in the long haul. Mark Stone, he's going to be here forever at $9.5 million per season. William Karlsson, $5.9 million, but again, forever, for a long time. And Jonathan Marchessault, another 4 years at $5 million per season. Alex Tuch, a little under 5, but for the next 6 seasons actually. Damn. So they're going to be paying a lot of money up front, let alone on the back end, where they've got Shea Theodore for the next 5 seasons at 5.2 per season and 8.8 per season forever for Alex Pietrangelo, who just signed that mega deal with the Golden Knights this offseason. So the Golden Knights do not have much cap space. And in between the pipes, doesn't get much better. $12 million in cap space between Robin Lehner and Marc-Andre Fleury for the next 2 seasons until Fleury's $7 million per season deal ends. So the Golden Knights do not have much cap space. So then it brings up the question, who are the Golden Knights who have been trade block targets? And one of the names we've been hearing for a while has been Marc-Andre Fleury, who is on a 2 years left at $14 million. He has $7 million per season, and he's 36 years old. He'll be 38, 39 at the conclusion of his contract, and that contract will definitely be a nice relief for the Vegas Golden Knights. But they're going to need more, especially if Cody Glass could get somewhere between 7 to 9 by himself. That's not going to work. That's not enough. So, and we're forgetting that Zach Whitecloud, who could potentially be a top 4 defenseman, making 4 to 5, maybe even 6 or 7 million in his next contract. So that doesn't free you up much. Another name they've been hearing about, Max Pacioretty. Another 3 years at $7 million per season. That is a name to keep an eye on. Max Pacioretty has been a very good player with the Golden Knights. He put up 66 points last season. He had a little bit of a dip the 2 seasons prior, only putting up 77 in those combined 2 years. In his last season in Montreal, his first season in Vegas, but he definitely turned it on this past season. 66 points, 10 points in 16 postseason games. He played very well for the Golden Knights. Another name we've been hearing about is Jonathan Marchessault, 29 years old. Another 4 years at $5 million per season for Jonathan Marchessault. That's another name to keep an eye on. I think that's one of the easier contracts for them to move at $5 million per season, and he has that little bit of certainty for the next 4 years. So I think that's something that could draw the interest of teams around the league, potentially a team even like the Detroit Red Wings. And then the other name we've been hearing, besides Pacioretty, besides a guy like Marchessault, besides Marc-Andre Fleury, this is a name that maybe you weren't expecting to hear, but it could make sense. Left shot defenseman, 33-year-old Alec Martinez, on the final year of a $4 million contract he signed back with the Los Angeles Kings. He will be a pending unrestricted free agent this coming summer at the conclusion of this year. So Alec Martinez is another name that's been thrown out there. I think what we're seeing is the changing of the guard on that blue line. Obviously, Derek Engelland is left. We see Brayden McNabb and Nick Holden still there on cheap deals, but now you're starting to see things change. Pietrangelo, Theodore, Brayden McNabb, Nick Holden, Carl Dahlstrom, and Zach Whitecloud. It sort of makes Alec Martinez, I think he was a good addition at the time, but at $4 million, they could probably get a rookie to come in on a lot cheaper deal and probably produce just as good, if not potentially better. A couple of guys in the system. Nick Hague, I remember he was a former first-round pick. He's a pretty big boy. He's 22 years old. Jake Bischoff, who they picked up from the New York Islanders back at the expansion draft to acquire JF Berube. Connor Corcoran, another guy to keep an eye on. Caden Korczak, I've heard of him before. So that's another name to keep an eye on in the depth here for the Vegas Golden Knights. So, again, when you have $0 in cap space, you have your first and second round picks for the next 3 seasons, and New Jersey's second round pick this year. We could see the Vegas Golden Knights make some moves. And I would not be surprised if we see one of those 4 guys potentially get traded. Maybe not in the beginning of the season, but at some point before the NHL trade deadline. And I think more than likely it could be Alex Martinez because he is a pending unrestricted free agency. There's more urgency in moving out Martinez. And also, not to mention, he's the cheapest in terms of per value in his contract, which is at $4 million per season. Is cheaper than the $5 million from Marchessault, the $7 million from Pacioretty, and the $7 million from Fleury. He's easier to move in a deal, especially with the not the anchor of a couple more years on his contract. So guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Leave some mock trades for the Vegas Golden Knights. Who do you think is going to get moved? Do you think all of Pacioretty, Marchessault, Martinez, and Fleury will get moved? Or do you think maybe 1, maybe 2, maybe 3? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And if you like what we're doing here at Goal Line Hockey, guys, want to see the latest news around the NHL, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and a subscribe down below. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.